My heart and soul is in Massena. My students here, I'm a class advisor, I'm the union president. I do two really unique programs here where I get to not just know the students, but the families. So I feel like I'm very much a part of this community. This area in the last 10 years has really faced some significant challenges. GM was a major employer and they pulled out and took 500 jobs with it. That was a really big turning point in this community. Doctors started leaving the area. There are for sale signs everywhere. It's really tough. Consequently, we have quite a high poverty rate. That's caused a pretty significant problem at school. Our free and reduced price lunch is 82%, but we feed and clothe and Christmas shop and really take care of our community here at the school. Another huge challenge is the mental illness piece. I think that goes hand in hand with poverty. In the guidance office, we have had a number of students go inpatient last year, whereas before it was 5 or 6 a year, last year was over 45.
And another major drug bust to tell you about tonight. A dozen people arrested for dealing drugs from heroin to cocaine.
Another challenge is high drug activity. We had a big prescription drug problem, but because prescription drugs are so expensive, heroin has really become a major problem in our community.
Sheriff estimates 85 to 90% of the inmates in the county jail are either there for drugs or crimes related to drugs.
So when this situation with Alcoa came up, just a few weeks ago, it was like a 1-2 punch to the gut.
Local 22 News. Alcoa says it will close its smelting facility in Massena in the North Country. Its cuts, the company says, it will make them more competitive.
People were watching the evening news, having dinner with their families, and they just saw the news crawl, and it said 487 positions to be laid off at Alcoa plant in Massena, New York. It really was devastating. Truly, Alcoa is all that is left for major employment. And if you ask any individual, not even Massena, in the North Country, they know somebody who works for Alcoa, they have a family member who worked for Alcoa, they have a spouse, somebody was tied to Alcoa in some way.
You know, the fact that we've been here operating since 1903, you could have 6 or 7 generations that have worked here. It's quite a history. The announcement came as a shock to everybody. We were taken off guard. It was kind of like being punched in the gut. I believe everybody in the town had some sleepless nights, and it was pretty devastating. The plant, generates about $70 or $80 million in annual payroll, a regional economic impact of about $340 million annually. Obviously, that impact is tremendous.
I came into school the next morning to students who were just so fearful of what was going to happen. It was a really scary day for everybody because we knew that would have been the end of Massena. But the next morning, my first thought was, okay, what are we gonna do? Because this isn't gonna happen. We are not going to just roll over and let this happen to our town. So I called our NYSET office. Okay, what do you think? Let's game plan. What are we gonna do? And the idea of the rally came up from that. And I called Bob Smith.
Everybody was in shock and awe. Aaron was the first one to call us to offer support. They called up with a plan already, and that plan was to hold this rally.
It's taken off from there. We have had several meetings, and it's been amazing what people they're willing to do and put on the line for this effort. It's been really incredible. Last week, Bob said, Aaron, if you could get over here, they're going to make an announcement. We want you to come with us.
We have really great news for you today.
Alcoa said they were going to keep the plant open and keep all 600 jobs here in the North Country as this plant keeps producing aluminum.
So I was kind of hanging in the back, and they pushed me right up front, and they felt like because of the pressure we were putting on politicians with the rally and the attention that the rally was getting, this was kind of the catalyst for the announcement, that this was the thing that turned the tides for them.
And this will be a very joyful Thanksgiving for Northern New York, not just for Alcoa, but for the people who live here and work here
and we're so afraid of what would happen to our economy.
It is a celebration. We have an opportunity to call attention to a great workforce in the North Country and a great spirit. This rally is the opportunity to showcase that.
The North Country is my home. I raise my children here. I work every day with your children at Massena Central School. And when I look around today, the overwhelming feeling that I have for the North Country is that of pride. As I stand here with you today, I believe that we can build a future for our kids right here, but it has to be together. I celebrate our recent victories, but most importantly, I celebrate our futures and what is to come of our North Country.
30 years from now, are we going to tell the same story? To say, well, Alcoa used to be here. I say, hell no. We're going to tell a story of how we all got together as a community. This is solidarity right here for one cause, and that one cause is our future.
We are not going to let happen to upstate New York what happens all across the country. The MFT said we're going to stand shoulder to shoulder with our brothers and sisters in the steelworkers. There's more at stake here than profits. In terms of families being able to grow up as families. In America, if you work hard and play by the rules, you will have a pathway to the middle class. This downstater is up in North Country today to say that our union, the AFT, is with you to fight for our middle class again, to fight for good jobs, to fight for good schools, to fight for great communities. United we stand.
We saved this town and this community from just becoming devastated with the potential closure of Alcoa. We've lost all these good paying jobs, one after another, and we're trying to save what we have left.
What we focused on was trying to help the Alcoa workers in some way and say, hey, the community is here to help you and support you in this difficult time. It's great to see that a group of people, a mass of people, can make a difference.
I've never seen the solidarity as strong as it is here, and I got to thank the teachers. They've gone overboard to bring this together, and I'm really appreciative of it. We got to get jobs in here so people in this community can stay here.
Organized labor is what keeps people safe. So the idea of Alcoa closing, if we can show up and help them feel supported, that's the least we can do because they were there for us.
Support Alcoa!
If we don't have private, we don't have public. If we don't have public, we don't have private. You all need to work together as one. That's what solidarity is about. It's what unions are about. And I look forward to this relationship moving on and standing shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand to help rebuild our community with the teachers, the steel workers, every other union that wants to join in and stand there with us. We'll be here.
I think sometimes in our society we get a little bit lost in this, I'm going to worry about me and then I'll worry about the next guy. The North Country doesn't work like that, and I've seen it firsthand. We're taking care of each other, and I think that stretches throughout all unions, throughout the whole community. It's been really something to see.
A plant shutting down and having a company rethink that decision, that happens very rarely. It truly is a victory for us, it's a victory for the North Country, and it's a victory for the teachers. What we want to do is build on that, bring the community together to all row in the same direction. That's what we want to do going forward.